So Elon Musk says federal employees must either document their work or lose their jobs. Do you think this approach is valid, or is this strategy too much for government?
I like the thesis of it, and I know he famously did this on Twitter, but there has to be a better way if you can measure efficiency or not, because drastic cuts usually lead to disaster in other areas, and then it's a spiral effect. Is there a lot of waste? Yes, but let's be honest, like a lot of this wasteful cutting that he wants to do, he's trying to find pockets to put more money in his companies and get him more government contracts. So I've been on, okay, let's fix GDP since we did Market Mondays at the Apollo. This isn't the way to go about it, though, because if you lay off all, and you alluded to this, Troy, the issue with the FAA, what if this happens in every department? Like our country, this could cause a run on banks, and then we'll get to the gold. If the gold isn't there and he makes 10% cuts in every department, AI can't fix all of those issues. And I know we want augmented reality and agents to run the world, but we're not there in terms of capability yet. So I like the premise and the thesis of it on surface, but in actually implementing it, it's not going to work. It's actually going to cause a disaster. But what do you guys think?
I think that it's one of these things, right? There is a lot of waste in government, and there is a lot of inefficiency in any type of business. So it's never a bad thing to hold people accountable.
For sure.
But there's ways to go about it. So I don't know if it's the best way to go about it as far as how they're going about it, but there's definitely inefficiencies for sure. That we know that for a fact, right? And I always say, like most politicians, most people, they didn't have to come up through business ranks. They came up through being politicians or other stuff, and so they don't understand how an entrepreneur thinks. So I do think, having somebody write a book report on what they did last week, I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. But
but 5 bullet points isn't bad, and I think it's a good lesson to know what value you're bringing.
You're gonna send that to an email on Saturday?
You better turn the BlackBerry on.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Let's get to it. That's the other part. He's not wrong in premise. The execution is terrible, but okay, what value have you brought in the last week or month? You should know.
That's a fact. You tell me. If you can't tell me, then that means that you haven't done anything.
Quit bringing cookies over to your work wife and all that bullshit. Hey, my boy.
Ain't no time for a work wife if you're working.
Shouldn't be.
I hear it, man. I'm a bit torn. I get it, man. I get it. The level of waste is at an all-time high. In fact, the Journal, it was a good article yesterday. It looked at where he's been cutting from, right? Everybody was like, they had like this bar chart of other things that have been cut. Aid to foreign countries was one of them. But I don't know, just something about getting an email Saturday, on your day off, presumably, and telling you to have something done by Monday. And if you don't have it done by Monday, don't show up. And if you don't send me the letter, that's your letter of resignation. It feels a bit harsh. I'll just be honest with you. It feels a bit harsh. So and then it gets confusing, right? Because then federal agencies tell you to not respond to that email. And so now it goes back to, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, do I go to work Monday? Do I not? Do I answer to these demands? Do I not? What are the consequences if I don't? That level of uncertainty, and yes, at the corporate level, it makes sense, but just on a human level, right? Like, there's somebody who's relying on that to feed their family and take care of their family, provide for their family.
You better answer that email then.
Yeah, you better answer that. Take a little time while you watch it.
It's not difficult to answer an email.
But they said don't answer it.
Well, just in case.
Listen, whoever paid the bills, that's Hefe right now. Nobody want to say it, but if I bought the president to be in and he sent that out,
answer the email just in case.